OG.
What's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice. Welcome to the Juice is Loose. I believe this is episode 28. 99% certain of that. I didn't write it down this week. But this is going to be a 2014 year in review recap. We're going to give our top 5 games as well as discuss a few other topics. I got the OG Juice team here, the original Team Juice. And so why don't you guys introduce yourself? We'll start with Mike.
Hey guys, NW Order for Life here. What's up? Always great to be part of the OG Team Juice.
And then we have Glasses Free Derek.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's great to see y'all again.
And for people that I don't think maybe we even talked about this, Derek just had LASIK eye surgery, so he's seeing clearly for the first time in his life without glasses and contacts. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's got to be a relief to not have to mess with that stuff anymore, you know.
I'm very happy I did it.
All right, and then last but not least, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? ASAP Rail. Good to be with the OG Juice team, man.
What's that behind you there? It looks like a little peach amiibo. Did you?
Yeah, I bought one for my daughter.
Oh, cool.
I bought another one for my daughter. She wanted it, so I got it for her.
Yeah. Was that her reward for breaking the 3DS? Or?
Her 2DS? Well, her reward is my mom buying her a brand new one. And she told my mom that she wants the one like Daddy's, the black one, XL. And my mom's like, well, do I get it for her? I'm like, no. She just broke the 2DS. Like,
yeah, the 2DS was
yeah, like, no.
All right, so like kind of this will be the new format. I'm not gonna go over the tournament very much in detail. I'm just started posting the results on Google Plus, and then people can comment and see that. I want to congratulate Gray on winning for the first time in a long time. He used to win all the time, and then he took a little bit of a break, and so yeah, congratulations to him. But real quick, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. We didn't really talk about it. The mirror mode, I switched it to. I really enjoyed it. Changed things up and made it more of a challenge. So I guess, how did you guys feel about playing on mirror mode? Is that something you want me to keep doing, or?
I didn't even notice it when you had posted it up. So it kind of caught me off guard. I like that you kind of switched it up like that. That was pretty tight. So it kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't need to be every time, but throw mirror mode in once in a while. I think that's awesome. I had fun. Did terrible, but I had fun. That's the same story with me every week.
I mean, it really changes up the courses. I mean,
yeah.
They feel totally different, and it can really throw you off. And it's actually good, too, because some people have an easier time getting used to mirror mode than others. Like, I was behind Rel, and I was pretty used to the track, but I saw him banging into walls.
Yeah, I fell off multiple times, man.
It creates some nice dynamic,
Yeah, and it also it gives you that different perspective, and for some tracks, I actually can hit the shortcuts better from this different angle. Somehow the perspective change helps me hit certain shortcuts and see things that I normally don't try, and it's kind of weird. But I think I'm going to do it again this week, and then go back to regular. I don't know. The following week's about Christmas. Is that Christmas Eve? Or it's right around the holidays. Probably won't. I won't expect anybody to be there. But yeah. So I had fun. I got, I don't know, 4th or 5th place, whatever I had, and I enjoyed it. I like change, and that was the initial idea, was to mix up the rules. It's just, if they would give us a better way to mix the rules so you actually combine things instead of just having only one thing, I would continue that. But just like,
so like you can't do like mirror mode and just mushrooms?
No, I'm just saying if you could do mushrooms and banana peels like together.
Oh, okay.
That would be cool. Like Smash, where you can switch the items on and off individually. Yeah. That would really, I think, be a game changer for Mario Kart tournaments. All right, so we're gonna do our top 5 rundown, and before that, I do want to just let everybody know that here for my Juices Loose crew, I combined Bayonetta 1 and 2 as one package. one game. Even though it's obviously two separate games, I think it's part of it. You pay $60, you got these both games, and I think it factors in. So we're for including those together, just so everybody knows. Otherwise, if I separate them, I might have had both games in the top 5. I didn't really think about it because I just said, look, it's gonna be one game. You can count both games together as a total package. So with that, I'm gonna start with my number 5, and then we'll go in order of the introductions, Mike, Derek, and Rel, and we'll just give our quick thoughts. When we get to 3, 2, and 1, we'll go more in depth. So for me, number 5 for this year, and I do want to say I only bought Nintendo games this year, so it's not just me being a fanboy. It's just I'm only going to rate the games I played personally. So number 5 for me was Hyrule Warriors. It was the most pleasant surprise, for me, it was a very pleasant surprise that that game turned out as well as it did. I love Zelda, but I was a little worried about the combat, and I actually really got into that game, from story to the combat to the strategy. Everything tied into one, made it a very enjoyable game for me, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I liked that game. So that's my number 5, and next we'll go to Mike.
My number 5 is Bravely Default for the 3DS. It's an amazing RPG RPG from the makers of the original Final Fantasy series, and they had some great mechanics in there where you can fast forward battles and you can set your own how many times you get attacked randomly. You can either shut it off completely or make it more frequent. So it was great for leveling up, and the story was just fantastic. So Bravely Default, number 5, excellent game.
Nice. Derek.
All right, my number 5. Not a game that came out this year, but it did come out to the Wii U this year, first time. So I'm going to count it. It was the first game I bought in the year, January 16th, on Epic. I paid very little for that game. I think it was $10 when it came out, and I put probably over 40 hours into it. I love a good Metroidvania game, so I had a lot of fun with that one.
Nice. I forgot about that game.
Which game was it?
On Epic.
On Epic? I didn't.
It was on PC, I think, the year before it came out. Somebody got vacuuming going on?
Yeah, I do, Juice. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Really getting on my nerves. But I'm going to just say mine real quick and I'll mute. My honorable mention, Hyrule Warriors. I want to mention that one real quick. And my number 5 is Bayonetta. The whole package.
Okay.
Just a good game, all of it, $60. I mean, that's the quick thing I can say about it. Getting both games for $60, dude, it's an amazing value. So I pick Bayonetta.
And yeah, that's a good choice. So before we get into number 4, I do want to talk about something. First, I want to show you guys this. Picked this up today. Wave 2. I could have got Little Mac. I heard he's rare and hard to find, all these people, and I look on eBay and they're going for $15. So I was like, I don't want Little Mac. I wanted Zelda. I really like her character in the game. She's one of my favorite characters. I picked her up. I don't know. I might leave her in the package. I might train the amiibo because there's no Mario Kart benefit, so I might leave her in the package. I haven't decided, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion, especially Derek and Mike. You guys don't have any amiibos at this point, but right. I'm sure you guys have heard. Everyone's been talking. You hear reports that Marth's going for $80, and I got mine. You can see them behind there, still sealed. You hear people saying they're going for $80 on eBay, this and that. They're rare, hard to find. I don't have a problem getting them, even though the Marth ones are gone at the store that I go to. Do you guys think Nintendo planned the shortages of certain ones to try to build up that urgency around Christmas time, where that gift that's hard to find becomes like this thing, this sought-after thing, and it builds up a lot of people talking about it? Do you think Nintendo planned on that, or do you just think, they're not going to make as many Marths as Links, because everyone's going to want Link? So I'll go to Rel first. I mean, so you got all the amiibos.
Right, so far, yeah.
For a collector, mostly for collectability. How do you feel about Nintendo making some of them a little less, or a little more rare, and all this hoopla that has come of that? Do you think Nintendo planned that? Do you think it's helping the amiibos? Just, I guess, give your thoughts on it.
I think it's definitely helping. I think it's definitely helping with like people going out there and trying to grab them and stuff. But I do think that they're only making limited ones because some franchises aren't that big. Like Ike coming out in February. I don't think there's going to be a lot of those. You'll probably be lucky to find them, and then they're going to be gone. You know what I mean? I just think it just seems like it just makes sense to go that way. You're not going to make a whole bunch of amiibos of a franchise that's not really doing so well. And in that, I think it's causing a lot of people to hurry up and pre-order and trying to buy, because I tried to get Rosalina and Luma, and I can't get her, man. It just says she's sold out on Target.com. Yep.
Well, that's interesting. How about Derek or Mike? I mean, you guys stayed away at this point. Do you have any interest in getting any? What would it take for you to actually want some? And has any of this stuff like piqued your interest in maybe going out and trying to find one, being maybe a rare collector's item if you happen to find one of the ones that are in limited production or limited, manufactured quantities and stuff?
You want to go first, Mike?
I mean, if I saw Marth in a store, I would probably get him. I mean, I like Marth as a character too. It looks like a cool figure. But I mean, like, I only want the characters that I love. I love Zelda in the game. I love Mega Man, and I love what's his name, Robin. Like, I would get those characters because those are my favorite characters I like to play with. And Link, obviously, for the spinner, and whatever. And maybe a few others, but I don't want to collect all of them. It's too much money wasted in my opinion. But if for a fact I know that, wow, this is a super rare figure and it will be selling and be out of stock and everything, and Nintendo's not bringing it back, then I would probably buy it. But yeah, otherwise I'm not into collecting the amiibos. I'm too old for that. I have nowhere to put them. So
yeah, I think I might get one or two more, but like you said, I just want the characters that I like, and if they make a Lucina one, I'll get it. And I already have Wii Fit and Link and Zelda now, and I'm pretty good. But how about you, Derek? What's your take on the whole amiibo craze?
Okay, well, it's working out wonderfully for them because, like you said, it's creating quite a buzz this holiday season between that and the GameCube controller. But I do not for one second think that they planned it for this, because Nintendo, as we've seen lately with things like the GameCube controller and other past examples, Bayonetta, they had one in the store besides the pre-orders. Nintendo's terrible at giving us enough supply, and they completely always underestimate the demand. These amiibo figures, they're going to be, I don't think any are being discontinued. I'm confident that even these unpopular ones will come back out. They might still be hard to get because, 3 weeks from now when these are back on the shelves, there's going to be a backlog of people who want to appear again. But I do think they are coming back. Exact same case with the GameCube adapter. Nintendo of North America, I think they just tweeted this today. They finally commented on it and said, hey, the controller, the GameCube controller, and the one for the adapter, we are aware there's a shortage. We are still making them. They are not discontinued. Stop all these rumors. They're coming out. Of course, I still think they're going to give us too few. 3 weeks from now, when they're back on the shelves, they're going to disappear pretty quick. So, it's a problem that Nintendo's bringing up, but it is giving them a lot of positive marketing. So, positive and effective inventory.
I got the gist of that, but your signal was cutting out. You're starting to glitch there at the end. But I got 90% of what you said there, and I agree. You said the GameCube controller and adapters are coming back, but that'll be another small supply. I will say that I was at the store today when I bought that amiibo, and they've had one Wii U since Black Friday that's just been sitting there, and it's like Xbox One's been filled up and gone. PS4s, they got about 12 of them. They've just been there. Today I went and they had 10 Wii U's, so they got 9 more in, and I forgot to look for in the accessory section for the GameCube controller adapters. I heard some places saying they were getting them back in on the 15th. That's today. They got a huge shipment of Wii U's. It's the most they've ever had. So I'm going back tomorrow, and just in case that they have, because this is just a grocery store that happens to sell electronics and stuff, and if they happen to have one, I mean, I would pick it up because I do want to try
High
Yeah,
five.
I will. I will buy everything they have.
Worst case scenario, you return them.
I'll sell you one. I'll keep one, and I'll sell the whatever I have left for $50 a piece. That'd be fair. So anyway,
Hey, just one more thing I wanted to say too. Also, the reason why I think like some of them are going to be limited because didn't Nintendo come out and say like they're going to have other ways of you using the NFC capabilities like cards and stuff like that?
yeah, then they might come out with just the card version of Marth or something.
Yeah,
You know.
so yeah, that's another point to me. I think there's a reason why some of them might be limited.
Yeah, I think, but you also got to argue that if they're manufacturing, it's cheaper to do like a bulk. Like it'd be cheaper to make 100,000, like cheaper per unit to make 100,000 of one character than it would to be 10,000. They'd get a discount the more they manufacture at once because it's easier to do things all at once than to do it and then a month later do more. From a manufacturing standpoint. So it'd be interesting to see. I've heard that they sold about 1 million individual Amiibo figures since it launched in the U.S. and that was worldwide. So. They're making some money off them, and I think it was a smart choice, and we'll see what they do with them in the future. All these ones are Super Smash Brothers themed. We'll see what happens when they start doing other ones for other games specific. So yeah, let's get on to our number 4 game, and I'm guessing this will be the highest or lowest, however you. Out of all of us, I got this game ranked at number 4. I think you guys will have it higher. Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. It's definitely the best Smash Brothers I've ever played. I'm enjoying it. The Amiibos were fun to play against for a while. Now they're leveled up too much where I can't beat them anymore. And the online's solid. Have a good time. I've had some frustrated nights, playing against certain characters I just don't like, and maybe I just need to figure out how to beat them. I don't know. But it's a great game, great package. It's never been like my top tier franchise from Nintendo, but this one is definitely the best one for me by far, and I've been enjoying it. I got about 37 hours into it, and I'm enjoying it. But it's my 4th favorite game this year. So next we'll go to Mike. He might not be there. Let's go to Derek.
All right. Number 4, which actually at one point was slated to be my number 3, so this is pretty exciting, folks. Fantasy Life, all right? There it is. And the only thing that's holding this game back for me is that I don't have enough friends with the 3DS in this game because it definitely would be bumped up if I had more people to play it with. And that's just a fault on my own end, and that's circumstance where we live,
Yep.
Really enjoyed the game. Got a lot of hours into it. There's so much more I can still do, and I can just, nature of the game, pick it up, play for a few minutes, level something up. So, very, very happy with that purchase.
Great. And that's that's a game I wouldn't even thought twice about. But hearing you and Mike are so passionate about it, I mean, I'm convinced it's for those people that like that type of game that it's definitely a solid game. So while we're waiting for Mike to return, and he just got bumped, so let me send him an invite. Rel, why don't you give your number 4 game?
Number 4, I'm going with Captain Toad.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, I like it. I mean, at first when the last podcast we were in and Barriger was talking about it, and all I could really say about it was good. Because it didn't quite grab me, like you're saying, like you kind of having the problem with right now. The more I played it, the more I loved it, man, and it's a good game, man. I just can't wait. What episode are you on, Juice?
9 of our episode 2 chapter and level 9 of episode 2. So I just beat the dragon boss for the 2nd time.
Okay, see, this is kind of where it started grabbing me, where up in episode 2, and it's just great, man. It's beautiful, runs good, has its little problems, like with the buildings being in the way and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like that's to make the game more difficult. And of course, I whined about the gyro controls. You get used to that as you go, but it's a solid game. It's my number 4, man.
Cool. And the gyro, honestly, I play so motionless with my controller that it doesn't even come into play.
I'm a masher.
I know you're, but so that's surprising. I mean, maybe I got about 3.5 hours into that game, and I've been busy, and that's another reason I want to make this podcast is a little bit shorter. For those of you that I've been having on, like Coupon and Mega, I just wanted to go back to the original team and try to get a quick podcast out this week. I haven't been playing as many games. I've been doing more podcasts and talking about games than I have been playing games lately, so I wanted to change that. And while we're waiting for Mike, I wanted to bring up most disappointing game for you. Once Mike comes in, we can get his take. But a game that you were excited for and then turned out got terrible reviews, or a game you bought and played and it didn't do it for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name this the most overrated game of the year. It's been on people's Game of the Year nomination lists, and for me it was subpar, slightly entertaining, and that was Shovel Knight, the digital title, 3DS, PC, and Wii U. I don't get what all the excitement's about. It was a decent retro-style game, had some pretty decent controls. Music was 8-bit retro-inspired, but on modern speakers and stuff, it gets really annoying for me. And the 8-bit visuals, they're cool at first, but they just didn't do it for me. And that game, I just didn't see what people were all excited about. I put maybe 5-6 hours into it, and I could have lived without it. So that's my most disappointing game, and I think the most overrated game this year. Not overhyped. Don't mix those two up. Overrated for me personally. Do either of you two have a game that disappointed you or didn't live up to the hype?
Derek, you want to go?
Absolutely. Now, let me make this clear for everybody. I don't buy a lot of games throughout the year. I really scrutinize each purchase. And I miss out on a few good titles because of that, but I also am less disappointed, or disappointed with fewer titles that I purchased. My most disappointing game of the year, and this may surprise some of you, and I'll explain it a little bit here, is Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS. And the entire reason for that is the same reason I had to keep Fantasy Life in the 4th place, and that's because of where I live. Now that Smash Bros. Has come out for the Wii U, there is only one reason I would ever play that game again for the 3DS, and that's if Juice ever said, hey, I'm going to bring mine into work today. You want to play at lunch? I might go along with that. I might. You know what I mean? There's nowhere I would ever go. If we go anywhere as a family, I'm driving or I'm watching the kids. I'm never going to sit down and play that on my 3DS again. So, great game. I appreciate all the work and all the effort they put into it. I don't even regret purchasing it. I get the CD, I get Mewtwo. Definitely glad I bought it, but I am disappointed just in the fact that I'm never going to play it again, and that feels kind of silly to me.
That's a good point, and I think you're valid in saying that because of the timing of the release, they wanted it out a lot sooner, and it didn't come out. So then now we're stuck with we got it a month later. It was almost obsolete. So we got Mike back. Let me see if we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My computer crashed on me. I'm kind of nervous because it said like it was an overheating error, and I don't know if my computer is overheating or not. So I'm trying to figure that out.
No towels or anything sitting on it?
No towels.
You might have a dust problem when we're done here. You might want to vacuum it. Take the case side off and see if there's a bunch of dust around some stuff for the fans. But let's see. While you're here, can you give us your number 4 game of the year?
It would be, I'm going to go with...
Just making it up on the fly.
No, I'm not making it up. I know which games. I'm trying to figure out if I want to put it in 4th or 3rd for me because it's hard. I'm going to say that the 4th game is going to be A Link Between Worlds, the 3DS.
Okay, that came out in 2012, or 2013, I mean.
Did it? No, I looked it up and I thought it said...
No, it came out last year with 3D World on
in November.
Oh,
yeah, so that's not going to count.
Fine. Then Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Okay.
That would be my fourth game then. I was gonna put that Link Between Worlds before that, but okay, the Donkey Kong. Awesome game. The graphics were amazing on the Wii U at the time. You know, like the best graphics. The gameplay is, you know, solid platformer, a lot of fun. I love the water levels, how they look, and yeah, I mean, a lot of challenge and a lot of heartache if you really wanted to complete all the challenges. So.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have 3 games left, or you have 2? Because we can just say you had a top 4, and then when we give our top 3s, we'll just wait.
Oh, I can add. I'll add the one. I was gonna take out Hyrule Warriors, but I'll add that in there now.
Yeah, I figured that was your number 1, man.
That's what I thought too.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Do you have anything that was disappointing to you, or something that you didn't buy, but maybe you thought you were going to until you saw what people were saying about it, and anything like that?
Not this year though. I mean, I was excited to play Sonic Lost World, and I bought it a couple months ago for $25, and I thought it was gonna be really fun, and I hated it.
Yeah,
So,
it's terrible. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was one of my most disappointing games last year. Rel, what about you? Anything?
Yeah, my most disappointing game where I actually probably should have listened to the reviews when it came to a Nintendo game was Yoshi's New Island for 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that game put me to sleep with like the lullaby type music and all that kind of stuff. It was horrible, dude. I couldn't even really play it. I mean, a lot of the stuff they were saying in the reviews were exactly right about the game. So that was a disappointment because I liked the one a lot on Super Nintendo.
Okay, yeah, that's a shame because that franchise has always been pretty solid. Surprised you didn't say like a PS4 game or something you got earlier.
I was gonna say Call of Duty, but I haven't played enough of it to really know. It's still just sitting right here. But I mean, I haven't played the story mode. I mean, I don't know who plays the story mode in Call of Duties. I mean, I know some people do. You do? Okay.
I couldn't make it through Ghost, so I couldn't.
That game is so bad, but Call of Duty Online, it could be one of the worst ones as well.
I know a lot of people are liking it. But anyway, let's get to our number 3. And this was, I mean, it was tough. Honestly, I mean, my top 2 are tied, basically, but I will rank them. But number 3 was tough, and it was my most played game this year, which is probably going to give it away, Mario Kart 8. And I've always loved Mario Kart, but I haven't actually purchased a home console version ever. Like, my friend had the original, and then I've owned all the handhelds. I didn't play Double Dash. I didn't buy the Wii version, and the N64 version I didn't buy.
GameCube?
No. Wii U is the only home console Mario Kart game I've ever owned, but I've played them all. As Double Dash, I played a few times. I played Wii for probably 30, 40 hours. My buddy had it, and I played all the handhelds. Mario Kart 8. Took that series just to a whole nother level. The production value. Mario Kart was always known for, well, it's a fun game, but they never put in like a lot of production. The visuals never really push the system, and you never really take it with any kind of. They never put any kind of depth into it. The handheld versions actually got, like DS actually got a ton of depth. That's where the kart customization came in. Mario Kart 8 took everything that was good about all the previous games and just set it to 11. Out of 10, they set it to 11. Like, the visuals, amazing. The frame rate smooth. The track design, while there are a few tracks that are a little less stellar, amazing. The time trials really hooked me. I just had to get those good times, and it really helped improve my time in tournaments. It helped me actually win. I never hardly ever used time trials in any of the other games. The replay function, the slow motion, the rewind, that was just all seamlessly added. Almost no loading times. I mean, less than 5 seconds to load up the levels. That get into the tournament, the online mode, instant. It just hit the button. 2 seconds later, you're in the online mode. There's no separate loading. It's just slick, polished, and they've tweaked the items a little bit here and there, but it's just an excellent game. Then throw on online tournaments, and that's why we're here today talking, because of Mario Kart 8 tournaments. That's why I went from having 4 friends on my Wii U to having 40. is all because of Mario Kart. And if it wasn't for 2 other amazing games this year, it would have easily been my number 1. You know, it's just a great game, and we've had a blast playing it. We're messing each other in between, and it's made us super, you know, pissed off, but also, you know, just super happy. I've never laughed so much in a race I got last place on. I mean, it's just amazing. And I'll added to the, you know, you can upload straight to YouTube highlights. I mean, it's just the full package, and it's just an amazing game. So that's my number 3. So Mike, why don't you? We already know yours is going to be because you just said it a little bit ago. But why don't you go ahead and talk about it? And
yeah, Hyrule Warriors is my number 3 because I can't legitimately say it's better than the other games that are on my list. But I can say that I really, really enjoy Hyrule Warriors with the whole collection aspect, and you know, leveling up your characters. Just the graphics look great. The fact that you can play as all different, like, obscure characters like Midna, like Ruto from Ocarina of Time, you know, things like that. There are so many things to unlock: weapons, costumes. There's a pretty, you know, complex system to do with collecting items and making badges, and you know, and with the DLC content, which really wasn't that much at all, you get a lot. You get more weapons, you get more costumes, you get more characters, you know, you get more scenarios, modes. So there's a lot to unlock in this game, and if you just you know, spend the time and just you know, this game will literally give you your money's worth because you'll be playing this forever. I mean, whenever you feel like it, just play this game for 2 or 3 hours, and you'll probably advance maybe 2% towards the overall, you know, completion bonus there. So, I mean, yeah, this game will never end. You'll keep getting bonus maps, challenges, and everything, and it'll keep going. And you'll love it because you'll keep having something new to do. So, I mean, and the Zelda fan service, the lore, how all the dimensions connect together, and they brought the characters. I really liked Lana. I thought Lana was a cool character, and you know, Sia. And I thought Tecmo, they did a good job, like, you know, with Nintendo's beloved franchise. I thought they did it justice. So
yeah, they definitely did a good job with Sia. I got it with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like Lana's new costume, and that was part of the DLC. Like, they just changed her costume, but it totally changed the way she looked, and they've added new weapons. So I agree with you that there's a lot of content there. And, you know, when Derek
got some mountains, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say someday I got the disc version. I'll loan it to Derek down the road when I'm absolutely never gonna play it again for a long time. I definitely think you should play that game. So why don't you give your number 3 there, Derek?
All right, my number 3 is Mario Kart 8. All right, and you covered a lot of the reasons I put it as my number 3. So let me say some things that are more specific to me. One, for example, is this is the only racing game you will ever see in my top 10 games of the year, and it's number 3. That's how important this game is to me. I do not care for that genre at all, but Mario Kart is fun, and so here's some things I really like about it. One, the amiibo support. That's awesome. Thank you, Nintendo, for doing that. Thank you also for making the downloadable content very affordable. And, you know, we got half of it, and we still got more of it coming in May that we've all already paid for. That's awesome. And the reason that it bumped out Fantasy Life to the 3rd spot for me is the same reason I had to drop Fantasy Life. I have a lot of people to play with. I've made a lot of friends, maybe some enemies. But it's been a lot of fun. It's great having people to compete with, you know, for fun or for glory. I'm going to go ahead and just take that phrase because that's how I feel with Mario Kart. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, we doing that right now? Because, you know, we can do it. Yeah.
But I do want to point something out real quick while it's on my mind. I started enjoying the game a lot more when I got Rel to stop bumping me every single time he draft boost me. Like, actually take some pride in just passing somebody without hitting them. That's my racing game heritage. Like,
let me interject here, just to clarify. I've known Juice for a long time, and even if you're playing for fun, he's an extremely competitive person. I'm not even going to go into the details and the stuff the other tournaments have been in, but it's the same reason he had to bump Smash Brothers down, because even in for fun mode, this guy, he's in it to win it. So
No, I don't play to win. That's why I have less fun when I'm playing against people playing to win. That's when I don't have fun.
I believe Juice likes to win, man.
He does.
Yeah, I believe he likes to win. I think Mario Kart 8 is far more enjoyable for him when he started whooping us, dude. With less complaints in the group chat and everything.
Well, what happened was I found out that I was spending more time typing, and I'd like start races I wouldn't even be on the controller. So I was just like, you know what, I got to sacrifice sending messages, and we were just bitching constantly. So I was just like, I'm just gonna enjoy the game and not complain in between each.
No
race.
excuse, man. It's not a character flaw. You know why?
I'm just saying that's
history remembers the winners, and that's just
right.
Good point. So, Raul, why don't you give us your number 3 game?
I'm gonna go with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze as my number 3. The game overall, what little hair I have on my head was getting pulled out, dude. I didn't do the last challenge levels like I told you because I just had it. The game was rough, but the music, the graphics, the overall, I like the fact that it's a 2D platformer and it had its own distinct feel. It didn't feel like Mario, you know what I mean? Because I was used to playing Super Mario Brothers U. And then I go to that, and it's just like a totally different feel. And the game is just fantastic, man. Like I said, I like how they brought back Sticker Bush Symphony, that song. Oh, man, I love that song. I just love the whole soundtrack, man. Retro did a good job on that game.
Yeah, I would say, like, going from Mario or Luigi or freaking Rayman, Shovel Knight, going to Donkey Kong, you feel the weight of Donkey Kong. Somehow they've managed to capture his weight and his momentum into the controls and still make them precise. It's really incredible. So instead of me going, I'm going to go in reverse order now, Rel. Why don't you give your number 2, and then we'll go back the other way.
Okay, my number 2 was Mario Kart 8. And even though I've been getting worked quite a bit lately, the game is still fun. And I think after I took that break from you guys, the week before last, when I played this past week, it felt good. It felt refreshing. I wasn't, pissed. I wasn't upset or nothing. It was just having fun. And, you guys already mentioned a bunch of great stuff about it. But, the visuals are beautiful. The music is wonderful. I really don't know. I was putting in time with the game, so much hours with the game before I even started really getting online with you guys and stuff, doing the time trials with you and stuff. That was freaking awesome on the new Rainbow Road.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is just great, man. It has so much replay value. Like Derek was saying, we got more DLC coming, man. It was worth every penny.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about it. The music, like you said, is just incredible. I would buy a soundtrack of it. Like, there were some really catchy tunes.
I would pay for that. Yes, I would too.
And I had another point I wanted to make, and it just slipped my mind. But that Rainbow Road. Not only can I beat your Ghost, I can't even beat my best time again. Like, I can't even come close anymore. I've lost it on that track. So, anyway, Derek, what's your number 2 game, 2014?
Child of Light, because I love that game. That game was fantastic. The biggest flaw in that game, and it hurt it a lot, is that they really tried to push it, making everything rhyme verbally. It really hurt the story overall, I think. There were some sentences and some phrases that really came out well, but there were a lot of them that were just like, it felt forced. But that is my only complaint about that game. The combat, for being turn-based, is a lot more strategic, especially when you go through on the New Game Plus with the harder difficulty. The combining the gems is a little shallow, but the music, the visuals, that kind of stuff brings me to tears. So I enjoyed that game a lot, especially at the price tag.
Yeah, and they had a lot of violin in that soundtrack that was amazing. I forgot to look. I kind of think that the person that did the music, I forget, they did an interview with her. She's from Canada, and she was really just amazing at playing the violin. So I forget what her name is, but I kind of forgot about that game, to tell you the truth. But after we get Mike and I's top 2, I'm actually I didn't write this down. Rel already gave kind of an honorable mention. I want to take the time for everyone to maybe give some honorable mentions. That maybe even a game you played that came out in 2012 you played this year. So next we'll go to Mike. Go give us your number 2 game.
Number 2 is going to be Mario Kart 8. And Mario Kart 8, like you said, a lot of social interaction with everyone, make a lot of friends, but also just the detail in the level design really stood out to me, especially in the DLC. I felt like the DLC was probably better than most levels in the game, and like just the fun of shooting people with items and racing and a frenzy and just great fun. So I mean, it's a game you get hours and hours of enjoyment from, and it never gets old. Every week you can pop it in and you can have a good time with it. So that's why it's my number 2 pick.
Yeah, and the thrill when you do a perfect drift around a corner, get all the coins, and just moments like that for me. I forgot to mention that too. Is like just there's a little bit of pride, and some people say pride's bad, but when you get good enough to pull off the drifting and stuff, and you do some really cool. Like you pass somebody in a drift without touching them, without having to bump them off the track like some people like to do. There's just so many moments like that. That's
every chance he gets, man.
That's just like why people love. It's like Mario Kart is the racing version of Call of Duty. It's that social experience. It's those memories that you have, those moments that happen when you got 12 humans playing against each other without. Sometimes there's CPU, but I'm just saying you can't get that just playing against the CPU in the Grand Prix and all that. It's just Nintendo was wise to bring that series as their first series online on the DS, and now the first true online multiplayer on the Wii U was Mario Kart, and it was a really good choice. So my number 2, before I reveal it, I will say the only reason it's not number 1. The only reasons, there's just a few minor complaints that, they're so minor. It kind of has long loading times, and during the levels, there's no option to restart. So if you get to a checkpoint and you miss a letter, there's no restart option. You have to finish the level, back out, wait for the load, then get to the menu, then click that level again, wait for the long load time to get back into the level. That's the only reason this game's number 2, and it's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It was my game of the year for almost all year. And I said, there's a video I made back after it came out. I was on a motorcycle talking about the controls of this game, and I mentioned them earlier. Somehow they made Donkey Kong just feel like he's heavy, but he's still agile, and you still can do everything you want to do. Never did I feel the controls were the reason I died. Sometimes I felt it might have been my Pro Controller from my button wearing out from how many times I would play a level over and over, and my controller was so hot from holding it in my hands for so long. When I died, it was because of clever enemy placement, and you have to memorize the levels, and you have to know what's coming. It's a little bit of a trial and error sometimes. But your reflexes, when you get to the end of that game, your skill has built up so perfectly. Like there's some hard levels early on, but they build your skills level up at an appropriate rate. So by the end of the game, you're just so much better at the game. It has nothing to do with, just your determination. You're just actually better at the game, and you go back and you can play the whole World 1. And like I did on hard, and I can beat levels without even taking any damage, and it's just because you get better. The game's set up that you will improve the longer you play, and by the end you'll just be good at the game, and otherwise there's no way you'd ever beat the final bosses on a couple of the last worlds, or the K levels, some of the hardest levels in a platformer ever. Yeah. K2. And I finally beat that with a gold medal on time trials, 1:20. So if anybody wants to challenge themselves, if you're on my friends list, you'll be able to check out that time and see the replay. I'm pretty proud of that one. But
that's something that someone who's competitive would say. I'm just tossing that out there.
But I will say, I still feel it's the best-looking game on the Wii U. Especially like the cutscenes are just the game. The game's 2D platform, but the cutscenes take are the in-game engine that goes right from the cutscene to the game. There's no loading. The game has Pixar quality CG, quality visuals, and they just zoom out and give you a 2D platform. But when there's cutscenes before a boss or whatever, when you're playing a world for the first time, like each time you get to a new island, that first level starts off with a little camera swoop. It's just amazing. Music's amazing, just like Rel said, and the controls are some of the best I've ever played in a 2D platformer. And level design was excellent, and it's one of the most underrated games of the year in my opinion. It's got an 82 on Rotten Tomatoes on Metacritic, because a lot of people felt it was too much like Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I don't know how a sequel that plays like the one before it is a negative, and the only other thing people thought the level design was dull, which was absolutely ridiculous. But for me, number 2 game of the year, and it's only number 2 because of the few issues I mentioned. If I could just restart a level quickly, that would have been amazing. That could have saved a lot of frustration on getting those Kong letters. If I could just, oh man, I missed that. I missed the O. Let me just restart. No, you had to just either back out, which takes like a minute and a half, and then get back in. So if they would have just had that quicker restarts, and maybe somehow figured out how to make the game without loading times, because some of those are just terrible in the beginning.
Especially the beginning one, yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. Just loading up the game, you know how the Wii U immediately shows an image on your screen?
Right, yeah.
That's the only game that takes like 2 minutes to get out of that screen. So.
And you watch the little banana getting ate up in the corner. Yeah.
Yep, so those 2 minor complaints are the only reason I couldn't find complaints with my number 1 game. So we're going to take a little break before we get to our number 1s and honorable mentions. I will throw Child of Light in there. Beautiful visuals, beautiful music. I enjoyed the game. I don't even like turn-based games that's not my thing. Enjoyed that game. Luigi's Mansion, I played. I don't know when that game came out, but I got it earlier this year. Really enjoyed that game. I don't know if I have it back yet, but I would like to play it again someday. Someone's borrowing it from me right now, I think. I don't think I have.
If I can ever find it, I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
Just kidding. I know where it is. It's good.
What else would be an honorable mention? There was one other game. Why don't somebody else go if you got anything you want to, like, Rel, you said Hyrule Warriors earlier. Is there anything else?
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors. I like Tomodachi Life. I actually did like that game a lot. It's like Sims, but it's like Nintendo's own little quirky spin. You know what I mean on it. It's a really cool game. It's fun. I got to see Terminator Juice link up with Beyonce, man, one of the best girls. They had a little girl named London, and it's just it's just a cool game. I haven't popped in and checked in on it in a while. The last time I did, it was like a month before that, and they were like, "Oh, A$AP Rell's lookalike. We haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been?" And it was a cool game. I wanted to put it in my top 5, but there's just too many games that were better than it to me. Okay. And I put like 55 hours into that game, so I'm pretty proud. Yeah.
Derek or Mike, any honorable mentions, something that didn't quite make your top 5 that you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely want to give Fantasy Life an honorable mention. I had a lot of fun with that game. You can lose yourself in that game, just exploring the different jobs and having a good old time. Also a great social aspect. Me and Derek had a few good online games we can fight together and stuff. Another honorable mention would be Persona Q that just recently came out. It's pretty much like the other Persona games, and everybody knows Persona 4 is awesome. So, I mean, it's just that, the game combines 2 different cast of characters from the 3rd game and the 4th game. And it's basically the same thing. Go through dungeons, and there's a story, and then, there's all that other good stuff. So, definitely an honorable mention there for me. And one other one would be Shin Megami Tensei 4, which is a great version of the Shin Megami story, a much better story than the other games, and the gameplay has just been tight. It's been perfected to the best way they could do it, in my opinion. So
awesome. I do remember the ones I wanted to mention. Smash Bros. For 3DS. I do want to commend them on basically if you watched Digital Foundry, they had frame by frame slow motion of the Wii U and 3DS version, and they play like the characters move identically. They don't even skip a frame of animation. They pulled off quite an amazing feat with that, and also Art of Balance, the Wii U version. It was a WiiWare title on the original Wii a couple years ago. Pretty cheap game. I got it for almost nothing with my Digital Deluxe promotion money. Really clever, very difficult, kind of like stacking blocks, and it takes a lot of strategy. I find while I'm watching football or something, I can just play that on the gamepad real quick, and just, you know, it's just definitely, if it ever goes on sale, I would highly recommend. It's a really cool kind of like what would be in real life would be kind of like the reverse Jenga or something. You know, you got to stack things and not have them tip over. So that definitely honorable mention for that. Anybody else, Derek?
You know, now that you bring it up, why do they got to take our Digital Deluxe away? That's worth a mention.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe make that a topic next week.
I'm very upset at that. Now I'm going to have to buy physical copies again.
Yeah, that's. I think we'll talk about that next week. That'll be part of our discussion.
Just, you know, I'm just fuming.
It is going to force me, I think, to buy more physical copies. And I got 60. I got 60.
There it is.
Yep. I'm gonna have some GameStop points, so I won't have to rely on people buying me, get me posters. But I do want to say I accumulated $60 worth of Digital Deluxe. So that's money I was gonna spend anyway, and they gave it back to me to use to buy more games. So it's not like I got money in my pocket, but I got $60 more worth of games for the money I was already going to spend on games that I was going to buy anyway. So, all right. So we're going to go number one. I'm going to let you three go first because just by my calculation, the same game. You guys all picked the same game, so I'm going to let you guys go first.
Pick Candy Crush Saga too?
So, Rel, you can... You guys can just all name it, and then you guys can talk about what you like about it.
Call of Duty Advancement now. Smash Wii U, of course, man. You know, it's bad, man. It is the best version of Smash, man. You know, like you guys are talking about, I thought like I would go back to the 3DS version. I'm never ever going back to that game ever. So Tamagotchi Life can go right back in there, but I mean, the whole game is just fantastic, man. It's great. I mean, all the music. I mean, all the characters. I mean, you know, we're getting, like Derek has said, we're getting our CD and our Mewtwo. I mean, it's just fantastic, man. I told you guys I got the bundle, but I'm playing with the Pro Controller just fine. I think Nintendo could have went that route, man. I love playing with the Pro Controller, but you know, same as everybody else's. Well. Mike and Derek's.
All right, Derek, go next. Add on to what he said.
All right, I will. Here's how much fun I'm having with that game. And I can say this because I've seen everyone else post pictures of this, and here's the comparison. As much as I've played it, and I've been on it a little bit, like almost every day, I have not completed a single trophy box. That's how little of the single player I've played. I play that game like I play Call of Duty. I don't touch any of that stuff. You know, I've gone through and I've done some challenges, and it's like, you know, but I'd so much rather get on for fun and, you know, contribute to Conquest and try and let Wii Fit, you know, finally win around the poor girl. You know, so I just, you know, there's so much passion. I just love to goof around on that game nonstop. It's so fun, you know. And I tell you, and I know, Rel, it sucks because we're in different time zones and you can't have your voice chat on. But the reason I keep saying turn it on is because I am just laughing my ass off. Or loop is at the end of every round. You know what I mean? There are so many cool moments where I'm like, what the, you know? I shouldn't be surprised at this much stuff as much as I've played it. But we just have so many awesome moments where you just got to appreciate everything Nintendo's put into it. You know, I really wish there was, I mentioned this in our little chat, I wish there was, I know it'll never happen in the Miiverse, but to tag people in a post when you put it up on the Miiverse, you know, so you could say like, hey, this is me and Juice, you know, or something, some way. I might actually just start throwing names in there or something just so you guys know that I'm putting these pictures up there. But so awesome that you can do that, and you want your friends to see those with you. You want to make them look and be like, we did this. This is awesome.
Yeah, that Lucina and Ike picture is pretty bad, man.
Yeah, and that was I told him when we were playing, I was like, we got these awesome posters.
I didn't see those yet. I'm going to
and what it was is you had I did my forward and B, the one where like dashes, and you did your little B button in the air where you're holding it, and somehow we fucking missed each other and landed like foot to foot, and it's this awesome superhero pose.
It's pretty tight.
I'm checking it out right now. So.
And Little Mac getting punched in the Little Mac.
That was a little bit of Rel there. A little bit of Rel Mike action.
All right, Mike, why don't you give your take on what makes it your number one? Why is it your number one?
Well, I just have a lot of fun with it. I love playing online against people, and I love the challenges. A lot of fun. They're very difficult, the challenges, if you have tried them, the event modes. Yeah, I mean, just again, the social aspect of you can join rooms with your friends, and you can play any kind of match you want, and it's just the graphics look great, and the presentation is spectacular, and just so many characters. It's like the best game, really. I mean, it's just so fun. Just like Mario Kart, you don't really get bored of it. You come back to it all the time, and just eye candy and fan service, really, and a lot of features. And hopefully, in the future, it's going to get even better with tournaments, possibly DLC characters, and possibly better upgrades for a stage creator. Who knows? We'll see what goes on. But I think the future is bright for Smash Brothers, and this game is just going to keep getting better. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at that picture right now too, Dick. It's freaking amazing. I wish I could make that tie that to my Miiverse account. Like, that's the perfect picture. And I do want to say, if this game had tournaments and stuff out before this year, like when the game launched, that could have been my number 2 game. I need something. I just need a little more than just playing matches over and over that don't have any meaning to them, like. Because
it's not competitive enough, right? You see where I'm going with all this?
No, it's not the competitive. I want a reason to keep playing it. But I will say the last few times where I did turn it on, I had trouble turning the game off, and I was up till 12:30 at night on a work night.
You were up way too late.
Yeah. Once I start playing, it is hard to stop. So I think with a little more time, if that game came out earlier and had everything in place, I definitely would have been higher up. But it just sucks because we had so many great games this year. Last year, Smash Bros. Probably would have been,
Just wait till next year, man. Just wait till next year.
I know, next year's going to be tough. So my number one, and obviously it's not the same as your guys' because Smash was 4 for me. I want to say the main reason it's number 1, other than I just love the game, is I could not find a negative thing to write or say about it. Like, there's not one minor flaw. There's just nothing about this game that doesn't just work right. And I will say, the game came out in October. It has not needed a patch yet. It has no patch. And the review copies went out early October. So it's been 2 months, and it still needs no patch. No one's found any bugs or glitches. And that game is called Bayonetta 2, and it is my number 1 game of the year. Amazing combat system. I've liked action games, but I've never gotten this hooked into an action game. The dodge mechanic seems so simple. You press R, ZR. It just is so fluid with the animation, with the high frame rate. And the witch time when you dodge successfully just completely adds a different layer to the combat. And it's like, once you get good at that, and in some of the tougher battles, your witch time only lasts for a split second. You got to be ready to do it again. And it's just so clever with the medal system, the ranking. Platinum, gold, or there's pure platinum for no damage. You do it quickly in a certain amount of time, and you have a good combo strain. You get pure platinum, and then each level, like chapter, is breaking into different verses. So the first verse you might get a gold, the next 2 you might get pure platinums, and it's just like, it's that rewarding feeling. There's exploration, there's minor puzzle or minor things you got to figure out in order to find some of the actual they're called verses inside each chapter. The character design I think's fantastic. Obviously, for all the guys out there, we all know Bayonetta. They just did an awesome job with her, and all the characters. The Lumen Sage looks badass. Loki's a little bit of annoying. He's the weakest part. Actually, if I had a complaint, it would just be him. But the gameplay is amazing. This game has better fight choreography and cutscenes than any movie I've seen in the last 10 years, if not longer. Like The Matrix, the guys that created The Matrix, they've been trying to recapture that with movies they made. Bayonetta crushes The Matrix as far as the fight choreography. The animation's so good that it looks so believable, and it's so well directed and, like I said, choreographed. It's amazing. It's like watching ballet, but cool. It's not ballet, but it's like a dance, and it's so well orchestrated. The music's excellent. The soundtrack's more of a like a movie score, and it's just amazing. And there's also one catchy song in there that some people like and some people don't. Then you got all the costumes. You're talking about Hyrule Warriors, all that great DLC and stuff. Bayonetta gave that to you from day one. You just have to earn it. You have to play the game, get Halos, and it's 100,000 Halos to unlock each costume. But it's just rewarding. It gives you something to come back for. Plus Tag Climax Online, which is faded. People aren't playing it anymore, but it is fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It has on-screen notification when a friend wants to play. So you just back out, you accept it, it takes you to the menu, and then you can get in and play with your friend.
People complain about achievements, and it got bewitchments in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's these crows to find that unlock stamps on the Miiverse. They're really hard to find. You got to really be paying attention. There's just so much content. Like I said, it has not needed a patch, and it comes with 2 games. I put 40 hours into Bayonetta 1, and I'm only 23 hours into Bayonetta 2 because I wanted to finish Bayonetta 1 first. But I'm still playing that. I was playing it earlier today. I played it this weekend. So for me, it's the perfect package. Just amazing controls. Visuals are great. The story's actually entertaining. And it's just the perfect game as far as there's no real flaws. Unless you just don't like action games or you don't like games that challenge you, because it can get difficult at times. But so, yeah, that's my number 1. That's my game of the year. When I think E3 this year, when they announced the first game was coming, I knew it was a day 1 purchase. Never thought it would even be a top 5 game for me. So that makes it even more incredible in my opinion. So, all right, that's our top 5 games of the year, guys. I guess overall, was this a better year than the year before in your guys' mind, or was it equal, greater than? For the Wii U specifically, I still think 3D World would have been my number 1 game had it come out this year.
Yep, I think so too, man.
But I think the Wii U's really, I just named 5 games. I could have named 7 or 8 this year that were excellent games for the Wii U. So, anybody want to say anything else about this year in gaming? Maybe something non-Nintendo that you liked. Now's the chance.
It was a great year. I bought a Wii U a year and a half ago because I wanted to get Smash Bros. For the Wii U. So, this is a pretty good year for me. That said, I've completely enjoyed the journey because right after getting it, I got Zombie U and I got Wind Waker. So it's been a nonstop. I've not been bored with the system at all.
Yeah.
At all.
I got some good digital buys on the PS3. I bought a couple of games. The best thing that came out this year was Suikoden 2, an old game that's one of the best RPGs of all time.
Now? Did it come out?
Yeah, it's $10.
Right. Now I gotta check what they're worth on eBay.
Yeah, thank you just for mentioning that last week. It's really a game that has so many different aspects, and it'd be a real, benefit to anybody who's watching this to go check out that series, and especially the second game. It's considered one of the best of all time.
But never buy
and
the
that
digital
just adds.
version. Never buy the digital version because I want my physical copy to be worth money.
But it just adds to the excellent year we got. And I mean, I picked up Titanfall, which I mentioned before, for $5 on my PC, and it's the full game. And I got about 4 or 5 hours into it. It's a nice distraction. I'm enjoying that. And you know, it wasn't living up to the hype like it was being hyped up to be last year at E3. It was a game of E3, but it's a decent game. It follows a lot of what Call of Duty tries to do, and
Well, it's the guys that left, right? Infinity Ward.
Yep, and it's just an enjoyable game. $5. I mean, you can't beat that. I'm sorry. That was probably the best value I've gotten all year, even though I probably won't put a couple more hours into it total. I don't do a lot of PC gaming, but that was definitely worth it. And then next week, I think we'll do a 2015 kind of like predictions, games we're excited for, type of video. We can talk about the Digital Deluxe program ending, and might be the last one we do before the holidays. I'm not till next year. I'm not sure. Maybe do the one the week before New Year's. We'll see. So I thought maybe we could just talk about some random things and just 2015, how that's lining up. A lot of big titles slated to come out next year. So yeah, I think that's it. I didn't have the Q&A app available. Just wanted to get this done and try to keep these videos a little bit shorter. Had some complaints from people saying the videos are too long. So even though I enjoy having the long discussions, it's when people that are watching every week start saying maybe they're getting too long, then I will listen. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who's watched this video and all the other ones. We'll continue. The juice is loose, still going strong. The tournament doing well, and this Wednesday we'll do it again, and it'll be mirror mode again in all items. So yeah, look forward to that. And another reason to end this early is so we can play some Smash or something, so I don't have to go to bed right away.
Alright. That's why that's the only reason I come on the show, is so you'll play Smash with me after.
Yeah, because honestly, I haven't played Smash since I think Friday, Thursday, maybe. I've just been doing a lot of things. My computer, I had to reboot, had to reformat my Windows. That took me literally over from 5 o'clock on Saturday till 5 o'clock on Sunday before I had it back up to where I wanted it. That was a hell of a process. So.
It's awful.
Yeah, it was all my mistake too. I accidentally deleted my administrative user and couldn't access anything on my computer other than basic stuff like the web browser, and I could copy a folder, but I couldn't delete or move a folder. So I couldn't update any programs either. So I definitely had to do what I did. So anyway, guys, good list. Last year I did it on my own, and I enjoyed this a lot more, sharing everybody's top 5. So it was a great year to be a Nintendo owner, Wii U owner, 3DS. Mario Kart 8 and Smash alone were like 2 huge games, and for me, Donkey Kong, Bayonetta were just better, and for me personally. So yeah. I guess if anybody has anything left, then we'll just end it right here. Speak now. Okay.
See you later.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll
go
see
buy
you.
Suikoden 2.
Suikoden 2. All right. We'll see you next week on Juice is Loose episode 29, where we'll be talking about games of 2015. So until then, we'll see you.